Man, it feels awkward to actually be making a full-length video again, let me tell ya. But yeah, I'm finally back with another video. It's not only been forever since I've made a video, but it's been even longer since I've done anything, that wasn't just a quick little sound test. I was getting sick of keyboards for a while, but there's going to be some more keyboard videos in the future here. That's not what this is about today. As you can tell, I've been fidgeting here during that whole intro, and that's what I wanted to talk about today, is my new current, I guess you could call it, obsession. Because keyboards kind of went on the back burner for now. I'm not completely disinterested, but something else is taken over. What I've been fidgeting here with in the intro, this is the Glitch by 3DC Printings. This is very cheap in comparison to some other stuff you can get. The fidget rabbit hole is very deep. Very, very deep. So this actually started because, first of all, during Christmas I got a couple Amazon cards, right? And there wasn't much I needed. So I was like, how can I blow these cards? And then I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if fidgets are still a thing. Because I remember back in like 2017, fidget spinners, but I knew there was other stuff, right? So I was starting to look into that because it's a lot better now. But in the past, I used to relentlessly pick my fingers. It was really, really bad. This is actually the most decent they have looked in a very long time. Yeah, so that's how I got the idea to look into fidgets. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to go over, talk about fidgets and stuff. Go over this collection I have so far. It's not super impressive. I have a lot of stuff so far, but nothing super great. I'm towards the end of the video here, but I forgot to mention I am going to leave some channels in the description of fidget reviewers and people who are also really into fidgets that I've been watching. There's a lot of great people who make great videos, so check them out. Now let's get into the collection. Let's just get started. Like I said, so this was the Glitch by 3DC Printings. This is not the first fidget I got. This is actually rather recent, but it is my current silent option. You've probably been able to hear it a little bit, and obviously if I drop it, which is a problem, but if I need to use it in public, I'll just be very careful. This is definitely the quietest option I have. Now you can make this loud if you want. So yeah, this thing is really nice. Also, the owner, James, he's very nice, very friendly. If you have questions before buying something from him on Etsy, I would not hesitate to reach out to him through Etsy messages. He really cares about what he does, and I'm sure he would be willing to help you out. But yeah, so this thing is really nice, especially for the price. This thing, you can use code, what is it, Lefty20 at the 3DC printing shop for 25% off. At first I was put off by how thin and light this thing is, for sure. But once you get used to it, it's really nice. And since it is so light, you do have to kind of force it to ladder, right? So like if you try to ladder it just by releasing that corner, it doesn't really. But if you give it a little flick, it does. So yeah, it can be done. This is currently, like I said, my silent option. You can choose either to get clicky or silent, which means you can actually see the magnets through here on this one. So silent basically means these are just, I don't know if it's glue or what it is, but they're held in place inside of here. But with the clicky one, the magnets are just put in there and they're loose, so they rattle around. I actually have something clicky that I got recently, so we can compare a little bit. But now, let's start with, well, where I started. And that would be with this, and this and this, I believe. Yes. So I was looking on Amazon and I wanted a nicer spinner, first of all, because I was like, this would be a great option for being silent. And it's been forever since I've tried any kind of spinner. And the only one I've tried was like one of those cheap, what the ones back in 2017. They're tri spinners. They have the little weights in them, and they're a lot bigger than this. I think this spinner in particular is called, what is it, like the First Fox or something? I can find it. I might be putting links to some of this stuff in the description. I know you can get this cheaper on AliExpress. That's one thing. Amazon is terrible for fidgets. The only thing that looks like it would be viable to get through Amazon is the Ono roller, but I don't have one of those yet. But regardless, I found the silver one of this spinner on AliExpress, I think for like under $15, and it's $25 on Amazon. Now this thing is really nice. I forgot to bring my scale over here, but I weighed it, and this is 67 grams, which it's heavy for how tiny it is. Now the only thing about this spinner, it comes with 2 bearings, and they're really easy to replace actually. So you can take off the buttons, and then it comes with a little tool, and it's basically just screwed in there, some kind of retention system. And then you could swap the bearings out. And the bearings it comes with at very first are fantastic, but they get really bad really fast. They are completely silent at first. Feels like you're spinning like nothing. It's just I think there's some kind of, I don't know. I want to say it feels like oiled or something, but I don't know where it would be, because these bearings, I don't know if it showed before. Let me get this off again. These bearings are shielded. Now, I don't know anything about bearings. I need to learn about bearings and stuff, but I don't know how you would even go about making something like this quieter again, or cleaning it, or what have you. But yeah, the first bearing, it was great until it wasn't, and then I put in the second bearing, and once again, it was great until it wasn't. With a fresh bearing that this comes with, I timed it, and it spun for over 6 minutes if you're somebody who's into that. But I just like starting and stopping my spinners, That's the whole point of having fidgets for me, is to keep my fingers moving, right? So I'm not picking, because otherwise that's what I would be doing. So, yeah, spinners can be very decent for that. And very quiet too. But yeah, with this one, you need new bearings, because the stock bearings just get really bad really fast. And actually, this feels decent right now. But when I put it close to my ear, I can tell it sounds like something's grinding in there, and I can feel it too, right? Like, it's definitely still usable. We'll get to a spinner later that there's a story behind it, and yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, so then I wasn't originally gonna get this thing, but I'm kind of glad I did. It caught my interest. This is the Cashew by Gao Studio. Now, I'm not sure if this is a clone or not. I don't see why there would be clones of Gao Studio products, and especially the cheap ones like this, because you can get this on AliExpress for I think like $20, and it was $30 on Amazon, because obviously everything's more expensive on Amazon compared to AliExpress, at least with fidgets. Yeah, this thing is really fun. It has really weak haptics compared to almost anything else, to be honest. But I don't know. I just really like this thing. Maybe because it's the first fidget I got, but it just feels nice. It can be mindless. It's not quiet, but it's definitely not the loudest thing you can get. You can make it louder. And each side is a clicker. But yeah, in certain public places, I would say you could probably get away with using this if you do it right. It certainly is far from the loudest you can get. Now, this cube here, this infinity cube, I still have a soft spot for it. I haven't been using it like at all recently, because I just have better fidgets. But this one's especially nice. Like, it's cheap, it's plastic, right? And it's rattly, but it's simply good for the whole keeping my hands moving. I don't think that I would take this out in public, just because, you know, it can sound annoying, especially, I'm trying to get into my rhythm here that I had before with it. Was this it? Something like this. But regardless, it's fun. It was like $7. It sits in the little box of my Fidgets now, but I mean, I love the color of it, to be honest. And from what I gathered, this is probably the better of these infinity cubes you can get, just because apparently they're usually a little bigger, and the squares are usually hollow plastic, but I think these are solid blocks. So, you know, it doesn't feel awful, especially for the price, if you're into this sort of thing. You know, non-magnetic stuff, just need to keep your hand moving. It definitely isn't the loudest thing ever again, but it makes noise. So these were the first Fidgets I got that started off all of this. Now next, where did I go from there? I ordered stuff off of AliExpress. First it was this. Now this currently in my collection is the best value hands down, because I paid, what was it? I think $1.50 shipped for this thing. Now this is a haptic coin, and it looks like a like an Oreo cookie. I don't know if that's going to pick up on camera very well, and it's upside down too. That doesn't help. But yeah, haptic coins are very nice. This is weaker than it was originally, because what happened is one of these magnets popped out, and I think I might have put it back in the wrong way, but I don't know. I don't know if that's it. But it is, yeah, a little weaker than it was before, but I can still get it to click. It's still fun. Haptic coins are very nice, but can be very loud. You can use them more quietly, but sometimes if you don't do it right, you can still get a snap out of it. And they beg to be used really loud, right? The normal price without the new user bonus on this thing, I think, is around $5 or so. You can find these. There's a lot of listings on AliExpress for this particular one. But yeah, haptic coins are really fun. And they can be pretty mindless, but again, the noise is a lot. Now that was a new user bonus item. But after that, I don't remember the order, right? But we got these. Now I bought these all at the same time. They were all cheap. Let me just get this out of the way first. This here is a clone of something. I don't know what the original is called, but if you have the money, because I'm pretty sure it's fairly expensive, maybe not in relation to a lot of Fidgets you can get, but, you know, for my budget, I want to say I saw the original, maybe for like $60, but I think I'm totally wrong. I might be thinking of something else. But yeah, don't buy clones. I didn't know this was a clone when I got it. That's my bad. But yeah, the original one is probably fantastic, because this is even really good. The only thing is the slider on this, it squeaks. But yeah, it's a nice little spinner. Fun to spin. Has clickers on each side. And again, the slider. So yeah, I like this thing a lot. And the only reason I don't bring it out with me more is because I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. It gets pretty loud when I try to spin it, because when I flick it, it's like, makes noise. If I do it weaker, I can do it silently, but yeah. And the bearing is still held up in this thing, so yeah. Again, don't buy the clone. The clone, this was like $5, so it was cheap, but yeah. I would find the original, and I think the original of this, whatever it's called, would be very nice, because even this clone is really fun. Now this thing, you've probably seen a lot of these if you're into fidgets, these carbon fiber track sliders. I was a fan of this thing for a little while because what I did is I took out the, these aren't magnets, but the little track things, and I used it as this little free-floating slider for a bit. And now I can't even do it. I'm so not used to this thing. Now it's interesting because what I was going to complain about isn't really feeling like the case right now, but so I had some leftover, what do they call it? The listing on Amazon. I think it's UHMW tape, but I call it wipe tape, UHMW PE, because, you know, that was a material in keyboard switches that was, you know, kind of a craze for a while because it's so smooth. But yeah, I taped one of the rows of magnets on here, and it kind of got sticky. I don't know if it was the adhesive from one of the magnets, because I remember it was sticky when the tape was still on there. Or no, I still do have the tape on there. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm clearly misremembering, but regardless, this is stickier than it was stock, but with tape, it's a lot quieter, and this kind of sliding is a lot better, though this is still kind of gummy feeling. So there's something up with this. This was also really cheap, like $5. I don't recommend it. After a certain point, you know, just save up a little bit and get something better, you know? When I bought this thing, I didn't really know the difference between a lot of stuff, so I didn't know that, you know, the free floating sliders would have 2 rows of magnets. I just saw in the video that you could, you know, take these out and, you know, go up, and if I can still do this, you know, spin it, go back down, kind of a thing. But yeah, at that point, just get a normal free floating slider. See, this is kind of fun. Using it in a track mode, I still wouldn't recommend this one. I don't know which one's a good one to get. But now that I've learned how to, you know, use sliders a little quieter, this is kind of pleasant. And the tape, because I taped it, the magnets are really weak. But yeah, this is how it was before, when I, you know, didn't know how to silence sliders very well. Yeah, so this certainly exists, that's for sure. Now, why do I have 3 of these? I don't know, right? I found these, and it looked like you could save a little bit by buying all 3 colors, but it was such a negligible savings that I should have just gotten one of them. And matter of fact, I saw that there's a blue one, and I would have just went with that instead. But I don't love these. This is by Gauss Studios as well. I think it's called the Get Rich Coin or something. But yeah, these aren't bad. The magnets are strong, but man, are these things loud. Right, you can do that with it, but, you know, my instinct is and that's just freaking loud. Now you can cup it to dampen it, and you know, it's decent. And I don't remember how much these are exactly. I want to say they're around $5 a piece, which is not bad, to be honest. And if it's your kind of thing, and you can deal with the volume, and you know how to control it right, I mean, yeah, these aren't bad by any means. Now, with one of them, what I did is, if I left it on, I did. So I put UHMW tape over a row of the magnets and tried to use it as a little free-floating type of thing. This isn't super great for it. Like, does it work? Yes. But it's an afterthought, right? But there was a motion recently I found with it. Oh yeah, so if you like take up, you can pivot it around one corner completely. That's kind of fun. Right? So it's not bad. I mean, again, for $5, if you can, depending on where you are, how quiet you need to be, these aren't terrible. And I know these, this white one probably looks cheap compared to these other ones, I don't know. This thing's neat. And I don't remember which it was, but if I can lift this off. Yeah, so I don't remember what came with what, but some of these came with the little palm, what are these, ball bearings, I guess? And one of them, I don't remember if it was this white one or if it was these other ones, but they came with these metal whatchamacallits, and I just dropped one there. So let me get that back in. And something's not right here. Let me fix this, and I'll just cut it quick. There we go. But yeah, the Gao Studio Get Rich Coin, I think that's what it's called again. Not sure. Pretty fun. Especially now, like I said, I'm better at cupping things to make them quieter like this. So this is a little more usable for sure. And the magnets, especially compared to like the cashew, yeah, this feels like it just kind of free slides compared to that. Like the magnets are a lot weaker, and this has a place in my collection still. I do like how weak the magnets are on this for when I want something a little less aggressive. But yeah, so that was the second wave of stuff I got. Then somewhere in there, this is the worst spinner I've ever tried. So you see the shape, right? It's similar to a torque bar. Now, I didn't know about the torque bar until very recently, like a month ago, right? A month or two ago. So no, it was probably like a month ago at this point. So I bought one of these because I was looking, my friend has a torque bar clone that he got from a friend way back in like middle school or something, right? And so I was trying it, and I'm like, I really like that shape. It was really unbalanced. It was a cheap thing, but still better than this. It was closer to the torque bar shape. This thing isn't even close. It has really sharp edges. Yeah. See, these edges are super sharp. The buttons suck. The bearing sucks. It barely spins. And it just sounds like it's defective, right? And it's not comfortable to spin because this is so long. Now, I wish I could get a torque bar, but that's never ever happening. But yeah, I still want a good bar spinner that isn't, micro, and this is a multi-fidget. But yeah, this thing in comparison is just so good. Like that bearing is so much better. Yeah. Yeah, this will spin for like a minute max. So that was somewhere in there. It was really cheap, and what actually ended up happening is they used pictures from either an original torque bar or a better clone, and this was nothing close to the pictures. So I got a full refund and just got to keep it. I was going to return it. But now let's go over to more Etsy stuff. This stack right here is from Intrinsic 3D on Etsy. He is also very friendly. His name is Ethan. This stuff is just about the cheapest you can get, really. And it's not all that bad, especially for the price. So let's see here. This thing is $5, and then these are 10 each. Now, originally, I just ordered these two things, and I got them very recently. But the first package, he swapped my package with someone else's accidentally. So I got these two things in the first package. That was weeks ago now. And then another week goes by, and he ships out the replacement. And he's super friendly. And then USPS just mishandled the crap out of this package, right? So I just got it like yesterday. So I haven't had very long with these. But yeah, let's start since I got these first. This thing is honestly really fun. You can't really, there's not many super predictable moves you can do with it, but my favorite is sliding it out and then like flicking it like a lighter almost. You can get it to do it consistently sometimes. But yeah, it's really thick but really small, so it's pretty loud. The only silent thing is these balls on each side roll. Some of them started sticking. But yeah, so this is like kind of nice. Not enough for me usually. I need more movement. But yeah, that flick motion. That flick motion is super fun. Next, in the same package, we got the hexagon magnetic tray. Now this, the magnetic tray, it works, but I don't love this. I much prefer the cube for the magnetic tray, but the slider portion on here, since when you ladder it, it's a shorter distance, it ladders better. But again, it's harder to get predictable moves going on this thing because the hexagon shape is just kind of awkward. But yeah, the cube magnetic tray, this tray works so much better in my opinion. And the slider, the magnets are really weak, but it's a cube, so it's more predictable. I guess the move I was doing the other day, or yesterday, is I would ladder it down, then pivot the corner. Yeah, like that. Or was it out to the side like this? You know, it was one of those, but you can kind of get into a rhythm with it. It's not terrible, but yeah, the slider thing kind of feels like an afterthought, but it still works kind of decently, sort of. But the magnetic tray, it's very, very loud, but if this one, the cube, it feels like flicking a switch. I like that. And yeah, all these designs do rely on slide tape, which is fine by me, especially for the price, you know. But next, this is what I was really most excited about. This is, I think it's called the haptic ice cream sandwich. And this is just funny because it looks like an ice cream sandwich, but it's a 3-stack slider. It's a lot bigger compared to other sliders. But yeah, this thing's very decent. Again, this relies on slide tape. I don't know if it's visible on here, but each side of this white middle piece has tape on it. And yeah, this thing's nice. I don't think I'd ever use this in public just because if you're not careful, it's easy to drop to separate the pieces. And it can get a little loud sometimes, but yeah, see, look at that, I just dropped it. But yeah, it's usable quiet. So yeah, this thing's funny and fun. $10, not terrible at all. I kind of just wish he would make a normal, you know, 2-stack slider that's smaller, and you know, obviously this doesn't work because these aren't taped, so they just stick. I forgot to mention also that the thing about this is each stack on this is a 2-click instead of a 3-click, which I just found really interesting. I don't know why. I kind of didn't expect it. I didn't pay attention. Yeah, one of the moves, what was I doing on here? So you ladder it down, and then, yeah, all the way up, ladder the top, ladder the middle. So yeah, you can get some fun out of this thing. And again, it's very cheap. But it's thick and, like, compared to literally every other slider. Where's the glitch? Hold on. Compared to literally every other slider, like, this thing is massive, right? It's huge. But yeah, still very fun. And Ethan's really friendly. So yeah, I can recommend some of his stuff too. I feel like this stuff would be better for gifts again because it's cheaper, right? But 3DC is pretty cheap too. This was, after discount with shipping, it was around 15 bucks, which at first I thought was steep because, you know, it's thin and light, but the amount of use I've gotten out of this thing, just because you can be so silent with it, is awesome. Forgot to mention that this also uses slide tape, but worth it. Now let's move on to the most recent acquisitions. Fidget Boy. Man, I have a lot of good things to say about Fidget Boy, right? Jason is such a friendly and passionate human being. It is unreal. He's great, and his stuff he makes is great. This thing, it's not going to focus because I turned off autofocus, right? But this thing is just gorgeous. Metallic filament. This is a silent model. Now this, unfortunately, there are issues with this one. I got used to it, and it is kind of usable now. But you need to basically pinch it to get it to break. This had really, really bad sticking, and it still does. So if you do it on the surface at all and don't pinch from the bottom, 9 times out of 10, yeah, you're not getting this thing to move. Look at that. Just using so much force. You need to pinch it from the bottom, and even then, it kind of, you can't do, you know, each click, because it's a 3-click. You can't do each click up most of the time. It kind of just jumps. So if you're not careful, if I'm not careful at least, it can kind of go like, here, let me do it. Now if I can actually, I can't do it right now. But what I've had happen at the worst of its sticking is I would kind of just try to get it to break and then it would like fly off, you know? Yeah, see, like, it gets stuck. It ladders nicely. And once you get it to, you know, break and slide up, it's decent. And I do like how quiet this is. It's a little awkward with a Fidget Boy. I mean, because it doesn't use tape, but that's a good thing. But you get that friction of the plate sliding. I can't even slide them because it's sticky. But I'm going to have to tape this one. And I was reluctant to message him on Facebook about this because it's so gorgeous, it's so well made, but the sticking was just getting to me. It just, because if I to be mindless with my sliders, I need to be able to just slide them, you know? Look at that, I could just slide it, right? But you just can't do that most of the time. See, I just got it there, but most of the time it just will not break. If you do it from anything but the very bottom, and that would just distract me, and that was only after the first day. So I messaged him, and I was like, this thing is fantastic, but I'm just having one problem. It's sticking. And he gave me this huge response. It was a good, nice response, but like, you know, he was just frustrated because he had a few people in his Facebook group having this issue, and he couldn't figure out what it was. And his guess is that some PLA just sticks to each other like that, kind of, or something funky with the PLA, right? But just to make sure there were no more problems, what he did is he went ahead and redesigned the plates. And man, let me tell you what, this is peak. Like, this is the best thing I've tried so far. This is, like I was saying earlier, this is the only crunchy slider I have right now. It sounds really nice, not for public use, but it glides. it look at that. See, from the front, I can just, it breaks. It breaks like it's supposed to. Now there's been just the tiniest little bit, and I mean very tiny, sticking, but like there's flat surfaces. What can you do? It's not a problem, right? It just takes just a little extra force sometimes, but more often than not. This is my first full day with it. It's the afternoon right now, so technically tonight will be my first full day. And this just, it's so good. It just works. See, like can slide it from the front. Can slide it from the front. Now it works. See, that's the thing, is this stick on here is really inconsistent, and I told him that. Sometimes it will cooperate, but see that? It just, it won't. But this thing just, it goes. It works. And it works really well. And again, I really like the sound on this. So yeah, Fidget Boy, just, I highly recommend his stuff. It's the priciest I've gotten so far. But I forgot to mention, he also, when we were talking, he's like, I redesigned the plates, and I've been using this since yesterday, and it has no issues. You want me to send you one? And I offered to buy it off of him because I really think he deserves the money, you know. But he insisted, and he sent this to me. And yeah, man, these V2 plates, go for it. I'd like to try a silent one with V2 plates so I can actually take it out with me. But what I'm gonna do is, when I get slide tape, I'm just definitely gonna tape this one up because this can be quiet, and I think tape would make it even quieter because it would reduce the sound of the actual sliding. Also forgot to mention that I have a ball boy from him coming in within the next week, I believe, because the shipping label was just created. I got an email. So that obviously isn't here today, but yeah, man. Fidget Boy is fantastic. Jason is such a nice dude. Like, so here's the thing. This is going to be a ramble. I've already been recording for 40 minutes, right? But I'm going to edit this. I usually have a hard time when it comes to joining new communities, right? So I haven't been on Facebook in forever. So I made a burner account, right, with a fake name. And that's how I joined, and I've been participating. But everybody is really welcoming and nice there. He is super friendly and welcoming. And, you know, we were messaging back and forth, like, because I messaged him about the sticking. And we were just chatting a little bit, too, after that. It's just, I don't know, a complete stranger. And, I mean, really, it was a customer support thing, really. But, you know, he was still just, I didn't feel like he was treating me like a customer. He doesn't see customers as customers. He sees people as what they are, people. And I love that. So, yeah. Huge thanks to Jason and the members of the Fidget Boy Facebook group. Very fun place. Now, as far as future fidgets besides for the ball boy, I don't have the budget to buy stuff, straight up. Those of you who know me know my situation, but if not, I'm not going to go into it here. That would just make it too long. But I really am attracted to the Verk by Cladis 3D Studios. I want to try one of those someday for sure. They were $45, but he recently just dropped a new redesign of the Verk, and now it's $55, which makes it even harder to justify ever for me. But again, I know compared to basically any other fidget, that's not the worst, you know? I do want to try a nice metal slider someday, but I'm never going to be able to drop the cash on that for sure. It would also be nice to have a really nice spinner. And I think I prefer tri-spinners. I really like the smoothness you can get out of a tri-spinner, and I really like the gyro effect. Gyro effect is really fun, soothing. Now these are kind of nice for when I'm at my desk and I don't need to fidget as aggressively because I'm not anxious, you know, like I am in public as much. You know, so it's nicer to have something I can, you know, be a little more aggressive with in public. Now obviously this is a bad example because it's making a bunch of noise. But spinners are just a more calming thing, you know, letting that gyro effect do its thing, stopping it and starting it. But I also do like the look and feel of bar spinners. The judder is really unique, right? That's why I've come to learn that's why people get bar spinners over tri-spinners, is to feel the judder. So yeah, nice spinner someday would be nice. Even, heck, just replacing the bearing on this, getting a pack of bearings would help. Yeah, there's so much stuff I want to try. I'm not going to get to absolutely not all of it, or not even much of it, right? And I don't know if these fidget videos are going to be regular things or not, but we'll just have to see. Right? Because this has just been an interest of mine recently, and I wanted to share it. I mean, I haven't had any keyboard content to make recently. I will be getting a Cycle 7 within the next month, I hope. And there's a cool story behind that. I did not buy it myself, actually. Some people from the KNC Keys Discord decided to get together and chip in to get me one. And I don't know why they did that still, and I tried to stop them, but they still did. So that's going to be a fun build. It's going to look really nice, hopefully sound really nice. As far as fidgets go, the community seems really nice. I hope I can meet people in the community, get to know them more, get kind of involved. That'd be really fun, because all the people I've been watching, they seem really cool. And yeah, I'm going to link channels, like I said at the start of the video, in the description, to people I've been watching, because, you know, when I get an obsession, I like to watch content about the stuff. So there's going to be a lot of channel links down there. I doubt any of them will see this, but that's okay. Like, if you're interested in fidgets after seeing this, maybe check them out, because I'm not going to be able to make regular videos on this stuff, you know, and they do. And even if they stop making videos, they have a lot of stuff uploaded. Yeah, if you made it this far, thanks so much for being here. Sorry that I kind of stopped content creation as a whole. You know, it happens in cycles for me. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I will have more stuff to share relatively soon.